Hi guys, happy Friday. It is almost the end of the week. I hope this has been a good week for you all. So we are going to start moving into our next area of study, and that is going to be the Indian subcontinent. And I'll explain what a subcontinent is and all that stuff here in a minute. I do want to give a friendly reminder though that we have a week until this 9 weeks ends. So if you need to turn in any missing assignments for any classes, that deadline is coming up quickly. So just keep that in mind as we go through today and into next week, that the deadline to get missing assignments in is closing quickly. So we're going to move into the Indian subcontinent. And so when we're talking about the Indian subcontinent, we are typically talking right around, oh no, go back. If I can find out where my draw button is, there we go. We are typically talking right in this area here. So the Indian subcontinent is right in through there where you see it circled, and it consists, I would argue, it consists of 6 countries: Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka down here, Nepal, tiny little Bhutan right here, and then Bangladesh. So I would argue it consists of those six countries, and we'll go through and talk about each of those countries here in a minute. But first, I just want to go over a few physical features, if you will. First off, I want to talk about what a subcontinent is. So India is technically part of the Asian continent. So India is technically part of Asia, but is often referred to as Southern Asia. However, you can also sometimes hear people call it the Indian subcontinent. And so all a subcontinent is a self-contained piece of land that forms a subdivision of a continent. And that usually means it's separated from the main part of the continent by a mountain range or a body of water. In this case, the Indian subcontinent is separated by a mountain range up here known as the Himalayan mountains. And we'll talk a little bit about those here in a second. So an Indian subcontinent is basically just part of a continent that is separated by some kind of physical feature, mountain range, body of water. In this case, it's the Himalayan mountains. So given the size of the Indian subcontinent, you will find numerous different physical features, climates, and other areas that have helped societies and civilizations here for thousands of years. Across the subcontinent, you'll find mountain ranges like the Himalayas. You'll find the river valleys like the Indus and Ganges that we'll talk about here in a minute. You'll find the plateaus, you'll find rainforests, and you'll even find seaside beaches. And all of these have played a role in the development of the Indian subcontinent. So the Himalayan mountains. These are a mountain range that run along the northern border of India and divides the Indian subcontinent from the rest of Asia. It politically divides India and Nepal, India and Pakistan, and India and Bhutan as well. The mountain range is approximately 1,500 miles long and contains some of the highest mountain peaks in the world. If you guys have ever heard of Mount Everest, it's the world's tallest mountain in the world, and it is just over 29,000 feet tall. And it was the first time someone made it to the top of that mountain was Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay in 1953. And just to give you an idea of how tall this is, no one made it to the top of this mountain until 1953, so a little over 70 years ago. And this mountain range runs along the border of a couple countries, but mostly along northern India. And this mountain is actually on the border of Nepal and China. The two rivers that we are going to focus on in this area are the Indus and Ganges rivers. And these are two of the most important rivers in the subcontinent. The Indus River runs through modern-day Pakistan and runs for roughly 1,900 miles or so. This is where the ancient Indus River Valley civilization gets its name, and that is the first ancient civilization that we will talk about probably Monday of next week. So that's where that civilization gets its name. The picture you see behind you is the Ganges River, and that runs through northern India and runs for roughly 1,600 miles and is considered a sacred river to the Indian Hindus. The next one is the Deccan Plateau. And so a plateau is just an area of raised land that is flat on top and often has deep hills or sides around it. You can kind of see up here, it's relatively flat up here, but it's got a very steep rock face going up. This one of the plateau in particular, the Deccan Plateau, is located in central and southern India and is anywhere from 300 feet to 3,300 feet above sea level at any given point. It's bordered on the east by the Eastern Ghats mountain range and on the west by the Western Ghat mountain range. So there are mountain ranges running down both sides of this plateau. And because of the physical geography, it's offered the people who live near and or on this plateau safety from invaders, both from abroad and local invaders. So I want to get into the political aspect of it real quick. We're going to look at the 6 countries. The first one is India, and that is the country that occupies the most of the subcontinent. It has the world's second largest population at just over 1.3 billion people. It has 5 of the world's megacities, and so megacities are just any city that has a population of over 10 million people. India has 5 of those. The capital, New Delhi, has over 26 million people in it. So actually, I think it's closer to 27 million now. So their one city, the capital, has over 27 million people in it. To give you an idea, New York City has anywhere between 8 and 9 million people in it. And New Delhi has almost 3 times as many people as New York City. And then their current prime minister is Narendra Modi. And India is also a nuclear-armed country. Fun fact. The next thing we're going to look at is Pakistan. And it has a population of roughly 212 million people. It has only one city that is over 10 million people, so it has only one mega city. The capital is Islamabad. And Imran Khan is the current prime minister. And he played cricket for Pakistan back in the 1990s and actually managed to win the Cricket World Cup as part of the Pakistani team. And now he is currently serving as their prime minister. And Pakistan is also a nuclear-armed country. And the reason I bring that up is because Pakistan and India share a border. They hate each other. And they are both nuclear-armed countries. So what could go wrong? But currently, this fine gentleman down here is in charge of Pakistan. And Pakistan is also a nuclear-armed country as well. Get to Nepal next, and we have our first woman leader that we have looked at so far this year. Nepal is a smaller country that borders India and China. It's kind of right in the middle of India and China. It has a population of around 28 million people. The capital, Kathmandu, has a population of just under 1 million people, and the current leader is this woman here, Bidha Devi Bhandari, and she has been the president since 2015. We have Bhutan next, and I just want to point out that their flag is absolutely incredible. One of my personal favorites. The other personal favorite is coming up here shortly. Bhutan is a relatively small country on the Indian subcontinent. It has a population of right around 754,000 people. And its largest city is its capital, Thimphu, which has a population of about 114,000 people. And the current prime minister is this gentleman here, Lote Tshering. I mean, just look at that flag. It's incredible. Bangladesh. It borders India, China, and Myanmar. At one point, it was formerly part of Pakistan. It was known as Eastern Pakistan, I believe. The country has a population of about 160 million. Its largest city is a mega city, Dhaka, and has a population of just at 10 million people. And the current prime minister is Abdul Hamid. I'm going to give him a 0 out of 10 on the flag scale just because it's just a green flag with a red circle. I mean, come on. Y'all can do better. And then last but not least, we have our island friend Sri Lanka down here. It's an island country just off the coast of southern India. Has a population of about 21 million people. Its capital, Colombo, has a population of about 650,000 people. And the current president is this gentleman here, Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Sure. This is also one of my personal favorite flags. It's a lion, I think, holding a sword. Seems kind of cool. So yeah, that's just a very general overview of Indian subcontinent, and we will go into the ancient Indus River Valley civilization on Monday, probably. Your assignment is on the next page of the module. That is all I have for you all. I hope you all have a good weekend, and I will see you all on Monday. And then don't forget to turn in any missing work you may or may not have. Other than that, I will see you all on Monday.